Hi guys, it's Arran again, and today I am reviewing the Time Force Blue Ranger and Vector Cycle from obviously Power Rangers Time Force. And can you believe it, guys? Power Rangers Time Force was 24 years ago. And just before I give you a turn around, I only when Time Force first came on, I only ever watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and then thought this kind of wasn't my thing. But then when the Legacy helmet came out with the whole of the Time Force season in it, I watched it and I've fallen in love with Time Force. I absolutely love it. Oh yeah, and by the way, I know Jason Font, you probably won't see this, but congratulations on the birth of your child. So anyway, I'll give you a turn around now, and yes, this is a lightning faction item. And it's actually very few of the lightning faction items I have left to review. But I have got other things in mind. So I'll give you a turn around of him now. So on the front of the box, it's got the Time Force Blue Ranger on the Vector Cycle, which we'll get a better look at in a minute. On the side of the box, it's got a picture of him and his helmet and the Time Force logo. Coming around to the back, it shows you what you get in the box and how tall the actual figure is. Which is great. And then on the other side it says Lightning Faction Time Force Vector Cycle, Blue Ranger and Vector Cycle, sorry. Now I was never into Time Force when I was a kid, so I only ever had probably one toy, which I ended up selling because I couldn't work out how to put it together and it was really annoying me, so I ended up selling it. But now I absolutely love Time Force. I really do. In fact, at the end of this video, I will put 2 things in at the end of this review. It's me morphing with doing the Time Force morph with Jason Font at LiverpoolCon 2019, but I also have the Blue Ranger doing the morph. Not with me, but I have him doing it. And the cool thing is, the morphers these 2 Rangers were wearing were my morphers. So technically I actually have, well, not technically, I do have a prop that they wore. And I'm just going to point out one other thing before I get it out of the box. I've seen a lot of things recently where people, Power Ranger fans, and just either huge Power Ranger fans or casual Power Ranger fans, don't realise they use toys in the show. For the props in the show, they use the toys. And I've seen things where people get so pissed off over it because they're using the toys. But I think it's one of the coolest things with Power Rangers, because if you're buying a toy from Power Rangers, you actually have a prop that was used on the show. Technically not screen used, but it's actually the toy they used on the show. So when you buy the toy, you essentially have the prop. So I don't know why people get so annoyed by it. I really don't. So let's get the Vector Cycle and the Time Force Blue Ranger out of the box. I don't know if there's also anything you need to put together on the Vector Cycle. This could be interesting if there is as well. So guys, I've got him out of the box now and on his bike with his weapons in his hands, which I can't remember the name of, which is my bad considering Time Force is one of my favourite seasons. But what I will do is I'll put the name in of the weapons in the video. Another thing I will say is some assembly is required. And it's easy-ish. I would say there's probably one bit that's quite tough to get on, which is the handlebars. I would say that's probably the only toughest bit. And he's got his gun in his hand, which, sorry, can't remember the name of it. And his main weapon, which does split into two, so you can have two weapons with the Time Force figures. And he's relatively easy to sit on. I will leave you turn around in a minute. But he is relatively easy to sit on the bike. The bike does have a kickstand, which is awesome. The only thing is, you can't do the pose that Hasbro has him in on the box because his feet don't touch the floor. So you can't do the pose that Hasbro has him in on the box. So I'm wondering if Hasbro either, I don't know, CGI'd it or kind of put something under him so it looked like his foot was resting on the floor. So it's the handlebars that you have to put on. I would say that's the only tough part about putting it together, is the handlebars. The cool thing is, which I wasn't expecting, is this thing has a kickstand, so the Vector Cycle will stand up. So I'll give you a turn around of him now. Hopefully he'll stay on the bike. So he looks great. I absolutely love him. The front piece of the bike should be chrome like it is on the show and the OG toys, but unfortunately they've not done it chrome. And the guns I believe should be silver, but I will check that. But I believe they should be silver. And it should have a bit more paint on it than what it's got on it, but I'm not complaining. But he looks absolutely incredible. Now, he also has, obviously he's got his weapon holding hands on him. He also has his civilian head, which actually quite looks like Michael Copon, because I have met him, like I said at the beginning. And he has two hands. Two sets of hands, I should say. He's got one set on him and one set not on him. So I love this thing, I really do. Now, if there was one thing I would change is, number one, I'd give the weapons, specifically the gun, a bit more paint, because it should have a lot more paint than what it actually has. But again, this is just me being nitpicky. And obviously the bike should have some extra paint. What I will say as well is, I don't know if you can still get him, because obviously Hasbro no longer make the toys, it's Playmates. So I know this is a relatively quick one because he's got a lot of his accessories on him. And so the civilian head looks great. In my mind it looks like Michael Copon or Cooper. So I'm going to give you my ratings now. To be honest with you guys, I know it's missing some paint and some other bits, but I'd say definitely if you're a Time Force fan, get it. Because it's amazing, it really is. I just wish they'd released the other Rangers, because they released obviously him and Jason Font West. But again, they didn't release Wes with the Vector Cycle, which I would have thought they would have with him, because I know there's some debate over this, but strictly speaking, the Red Ranger is the leader, but in Time Force, there's been a debate for years whether Jen is the leader or Wes is the leader. There's been some debate over who is the leader, basically. But to be fair, I think they're both leaders, because when Wes is off dealing with other bits, which I'm not going to say, because those of you that haven't watched Time Force yet, I'm not going to say. Jen takes over being the leader, but generally if Wes is on screen, they use Wes as the leader. But anyway, my ratings on this, I think, is probably going to be, because of the missing paint, I'm probably going to give it 8 out of 10. And I'm not putting it, the figure itself is really good. I mean, that is missing a little bit of paint, but not much. And the bike itself is incredible, but because of the bits it is missing, it's gonna get an 8. But that's not a bad score, particularly coming from me, because you guys that have watched me do reviews for the last 16 years know I can be a bit picky. So yeah, 8 out of 10, absolutely love the thing, really, really do. I do highly recommend it, if you can still get it. I don't know if you can. Definitely not on Hasbro Pulse. UK you can't, because it's sold out on there now, and obviously they're no longer making the toys. But you might find it on places like Amazon or Savvy, or even if you got Smith Toys or Toys R Us around you, you might find it in there. So that's the end of this review, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Okay, you want to see if I do this? You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. Time.